know this is going to be funny. This is going to be funny. Oh, boy. If you don't know, Ben Shapiro is one of my favorite people to watch on YouTube, just so you know. The man knows what he's talking about. Me and him disagreed on the Batman, though. We did disagree on the Batman. I did a reaction to that, too. So let's take a look at what he thinks about The Superman by James Gunn.
He's screaming in pain as Crypto jumps on him. Okay, I don't see the purpose of this. 2 thumbs down. Very disappointed. Ugh. And meanwhile, in later news,
Exactly.
I understand. The markets are putting me in a bad mood. Also, I want President Trump's plans to succeed, as I've said 1,000 times here on the show.
So do I.
President Trump is doing too much important work for all of it to be waylaid by bad things happening. And so I'm in a bit of a bad mood, I'll be honest with you. But I decided to do something that put me in even a worse mood, and that was I watched the new preview for Superman that was put out by James Gunn. Now, as y'all know, not a huge James Gunn fan. By
the way, I've gained hundreds of subscribers, new subscribers from that video. If you've been following me since the first trailer reaction, the teaser trailer, I lost subscribers, like 150 or something like that. And then in like my next 2 videos after that, like I gained them back like that. So all those people that had a problem with me not liking that Superman, they were completely erased. And their replacement was complete. This trailer reaction is different. It seems as if people are warming up to my honesty, that this guy doesn't pander to anyone, no matter who they are, no matter how many they are. It doesn't matter. You could be high up in a business. I'm not going to pander to you. You could be low in the business. I'm not going to pander to you. You could be out there in the crowd. We want this. We want this. I'm not pandering to either of you. It doesn't matter. Tyrone Magnus tells you how he feels. And it seems like people are enjoying that. And I like that. So thank you. More honesty to come.
Into the galaxy, when it's all sort of like ridiculous humor, kind of gonzo humor. People unsurfaced his old tweets that were kind of jokey, ugly tweets in early days of Twitter. James Gunn, based on those old tweets, was actually fired by Marvel. Mm-hmm. And I will say that I publicly supported the idea that he should be rehired, because you shouldn't cancel people based on jokes that they made back when Twitter was a jokier place.
Oh, yeah. People bother me about the old James Gunn tweets all the time. Like, you know, I'll do a reaction or I'll talk about Superman and they'll be like, yeah, you're going to go see this movie and support this PDF file, man. Man, I tell you, Tyrone, I'm like, whatever. He made some really bad jokes. I don't know whether he meant it or not. That's not what I'm discussing. I'm trying to see if this movie's going to be good. And right now, it don't seem like it's going to be.
And now he's directing the new Superman movie. And we can watch this preview together. Yes,
let's suffer together, sir.
I hate to break it to you. It's terrible. Here we go.
Ooh.
So, for those who can't see, Superman is wounded and he is lying on the snow. The original preview, it just showed, at this point, Crypto the dog arriving. But this preview is much longer. Here comes Crypto. He whistles for Crypto, the super dog. So Crypto arrives, and then Crypto proceeds to, for well over a minute, beat the living hell.
I had people arguing with me, too, with this. Remember when I said, look, like dogs, no, when you're hurt, maybe I should specify. If you're sitting on the couch and you had your ribs broken at football practice, you just got home and you're like, and your dogs are jumping around, yeah, they're not going to know. Okay. Or if you're sitting down and say your girlfriend took the dog for a walk and maybe your ribs are hurting, the dog comes in, the dog doesn't know, and you know, it'll jump on you. But specifically, when you're gravely hurt, when it looks like you need a body cast, if your dog sees you and you're like, they're not going to jump on you. Dogs recognize when someone is in grave danger and really hurt. They know that, okay? I'm not talking about people like, oh, I broke my ankle and my dog just kept jumping. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this guy's bleeding from the mouth. The robots said they had large intestine problems and broken bones and all this other stuff. And it... The dogs are going to know. And then you got the other people coping. Well, to be fair, James Gunn did say that he's not a good dog. Not everyone in the world saw every quote from every James Gunn interview about this movie. As a matter of fact, the normies won't have, which are the majority of the crowd. So when you make movies, you need to make movies that will bring the normies in and they will understand what is going on too. Okay? So just because James Gunn said in some interview about him not being a good dog or not being actually Kal-El's dog, he's actually Supergirl. So who cares? The point is, it was played for jokes. I didn't find it funny. And a ton of people didn't find it funny. Go to my comments section. A ton of people did not find it funny. Many people did, and more power to you. If you like John Cena, that's great. I don't like him. Okay? The character sucks. Okay? All right.
Out of Superman. He's screaming in pain as Crypto jumps on him. And continues to...
And that really made him look stupid right there. That right there. Look how dumb they made him look. Let's make him relatable. And let's make a God-man relatable. He's hurt and his dog jumping on him. That'll make people like him more. I never cared whether I related to Superman or not. He's not real. Neither is Batman. I really can't relate to either because, you know what I mean, they're fictional. However, they are beloved. I do love them, but I like them portrayed in the light that I've seen them portrayed in for years. Not even Christopher Reeve's Superman was made to look this stupid. He's arguably my favorite. And he was a more fantastical, funny, jokey Superman compared to what we got with Henry Cavill. And people love him and Henry Cavill. Like, they are beloved. The two of them are beloved amongst fans. People, while Man of Steel wasn't a $1 billion movie, I don't believe. It wasn't as big as WB exactly wanted it to be. People loved that film. So stop trying to act like, oh, nobody liked Zack Snyder's versions. Yes, they did. Okay? It wouldn't have made that much money if they didn't like him. And while Batman v Superman was divisive, people still love Henry Cavill's Superman. Why do they love him so much? Henry Cavill, by the way, if you watch my video, sir, you dodged a bullet. You dodged a bullet. I am so glad you were not cast in this movie. I am so glad. Because I'm sorry, it feels like they're making, they're just making a joke of him, and it's not working.
And continues to nudge him, bite him. Okay, I don't see the purpose of this. Take me home. So this is not dramatic, it's just silly and ridiculous. Okay, and then finally Crypto figures out that he needs to take Superman back to the Fortress of Solitude. Every James Gunn joke is a Monty Python joke, just lasts 3 times too long. So now Crypto is dragging Superman's prone body through the snow back toward the Fortress of Solitude, which arises from the Arctic. And it's a cool-looking Fortress of Solitude, I'll give you that. Mm-hmm. But don't worry, it gets worse. Once Superman is brought inside.
Oh yeah, the thing with the robots, people are jumping on that all over the place. Oh, we don't need your thank you, because it's like we can't feel that type of appreciation. But then the female robot appreciates that Superman looks at her. Oh, he looked at me.
A team of robots, presumably of Kryptonian origin, then starts to handle him, and they have one of the most nonsensical exchanges in any James Gunn movie, which is to say pretty nonsensical. Here come the robots. They pick him up and they're carrying him.
Stupid ass suit. Someone was like, why wouldn't they put him on a stretcher? Yeah, I don't know either.
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate it. We have no consciousness whatsoever. Merely automatons here to serve. Make 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
With a healthy dose of yellow sun.
Yo, Ben, see how you looked at us?
Okay, and then they're gonna hit Superman with a magnifying glass.
So this one's pissing people off too. They're like, when has sunlight ever hurt Superman? And I figured this out as I was watching it, but I was just like, okay, well, it's the mega dose of sunlight. Like, if you look at Henry Cavill's Superman, he got hit with a nuke and almost killed him. But when the sun rose in the distance, it healed him in a few seconds. He didn't scream or anything, but he didn't get a mega shot dose of it. So, you know, think of it like adrenaline or the body healing so quickly it hurt. I don't know, but I got what they were going for. But when I saw that, I was like, people, in my head, I was like, people ain't gonna like that because they got him screaming with being exposed to sunlight.
And now he's painfully absorbing the sun, which apparently was not available before. So the sun, which, as we all know, illuminates the Earth, which is the planet we are currently spinning on, apparently only the magnifying glass could make Superman better. We will notice the obvious incongruity of one robot explaining that the robots have no feelings, and then the female robot being giggly, like a little girl at Superman. The entire attitude here is wrong. The entire attitude is wrong. The gold standard for Superman movies remains the original Superman in the late 70s by Richard Donner. By far the best Superman movie, not close. Better than Man of Steel, significantly better.
Well, I disagree there, but we if someone says it's better than Man of Steel, I don't argue it. Understand? Okay.
Because it gets right the idea that there's a solemnity to Superman, that he is supposed to be the embodiment of America, and then the second half of the movie shifts into a more comic book, humorous mode. And it's very, the color palette is very rich and very bright. Man of Steel, they basically desaturate the entire film. So the entire color palette is grayscale.
I love the look of both films. And Superman still remains my favorite movie of all time. Richard Donner, Superman of all time. Okay, so.
And kind of ugly and dark, and the entire character of Superman is much darker.
And remember, and I was defending Zach on this, because Nolan and WB, because of the success of the more grounded, grittier, dark Batman, wanted to go for a grittier, dark, grounded Superman. So, how would a man that landed here and was treated like a god, but also feared, act? That's also good at heart. He wouldn't know what to do. He would be depressed. He might be brooding or hurting or sad or just confused about his place on Earth. And that's what they went with it. They wanted that. They blame it on Zach all the time. They wanted that. Okay? So that's what they went with. And as soon as they were scared because, he broke his neck. So he killed Zod and Superman too. Nobody said a damn thing about it. Okay? Batman was burning people up with his Batmobile and Batman Returns. You know what I'm saying? He killed the Joker. He killed the fat dude. He put the bomb in his pants and punched him into the hole. And you know what I mean? Like, come on now. Like, he killed people.
attitude here is totally wrong. It's just Guardians of the Galaxy in a Superman suit, and that ticks me off.
And that's what it feels like. As soon as he was jumping on him like that, I was like, this has got to be a parody. Is this a Key and Peele skit? Did someone AI this to make fun of the trailer? Like, what's going on here? I can't truly be watched. And then I was just setting in and how people are always trashing Marvel humor and James Gunn humor. And I was just like, this is real and this is the humor. Here we go. I don't have a problem with humor. As a matter of fact, the first Superman movie has a lot of humor, especially with Lex Luthor and Otis. Hilarious. And certain exchanges between him and Superman. Funny. And then Ms. Tessmacher. Funny. Okay? But they didn't make Superman look like a joke like that, you know?
It really does, because as a lifelong fan of the Superman brand, let me just say that it's not that hard to get Superman right. He's supposed to be the embodiment of everything cool and heroic about America, and, of course, he's supposed to be charming as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole shtick. So you don't need full-scale James Gunn. He's the same character as essentially Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy, and all the jokes are the same as a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. It's silly and stupid and bad. Do not like. 2 thumbs down. Very disappointed. Ugh. We'll get to more on this in just a moment. First, after more than a year of war,
Is he going to talk more about it?
the need for security
He's going to
essentials
talk more about it.
responders is still critical. On March and so much more. Your generous donation today in a worse mood by that. In other news, Wicked for Good, which is the second part.
Okay, cool. All right, so there we go there. Make sure you subscribe to Ben Shapiro over there. And, yeah, post your comments down below. Let me know what you all thought. If you enjoyed my reaction and thoughts to his reaction and thoughts, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers.